Hi guys. Okay, so I have a lot of things I could teach you guys today. I was watching the History Channel because it's what nerds do, and I was watching a show about mythology, and I love mythology, so I could teach you guys about Medusa and the demigod Perseus, or I could teach you about Hercules and his 12 labors, but instead I will teach you a totally different thing, because today I'll go I can't speak English. I'm not gonna cut any of this out. We're just gonna keep going. So I go hiking with my dad a lot, and I don't know whether anyone knows what this is. I don't know whether anyone's watching this to know what this is, but if you are, you may or may not know what geocaching is. It's when you take a GPS and you have coordinates and you go and you look for this thing that's hidden. Well, me and my dad do a lot of hiking and looking for these things, and I decided that today, to celebrate us all being done with our junior year, that I would invite a bunch of my friends out into the woods and we'd go hiking and we'd have a picnic. So we did. And I learned that having a picnic in the woods is very relaxing, and just sitting with your friends on a giant rock and just eating blueberries and enjoying the view of the lake around all the trees is just really awesome. I don't know. There's no way to describe it, really. You just have to go out and sit by a lake. Now, it's 95 degrees here. I don't know where it is by where you live, but it's hot, so we were kind of sweating, but you know, it was still pretty fun, which just tells you something, because generally when it's hot, things become less enjoyable, and the fact that this was still a lot of fun means we really did have a good time. So I learned that that is a fun thing to do, and since I talked about all that mythology and didn't actually teach you any of it, I figured that I would teach you something, and I would teach you where the word toxic comes from. Because it actually, in ancient Greek, I guess regular Greek, I don't know, it means of the bow, or something to that idea. And like a bow and arrow, and where that comes from is in the Hercules myth. Hercules had to slay this beast that had heads, and every time he cut one of the heads off, it's called a Hydra, and every time he cut one of the heads off, 2 heads would grow back, and he had to defeat it in one of his 12 labors, and he found out that if, instead of just cutting the heads off, if he cut them off and then he burned the stub where the head used to be, that the head would stop growing back, and that's how he defeated it. And then afterwards he dipped his arrows in the blood, which made the arrows poisonous. So the word toxic has to do with like bows and arrows, and it connects our English word back to the Hercules myth of him with his poisonous arrows. So yeah, I thought that that was pretty cool, that it still has some relevance to our modern words, that they came from ancient mythology. So anyway, this is a long video, isn't it? Yeah, so if you ever have a chance to go on a hike and just sit in the trees and like have a picnic, do it. It's a lot of fun. I know a lot of people had like parties to celebrate the end of the year, but I don't know. I enjoyed this. It was fun to just be with the nature, and there was no cell service, and so we couldn't really contact anyone. It was me and 5 of my really close friends, and we just sat under the trees and just enjoyed ourselves. It was a good way to end the school year. Bye, guys.